Have you ever found yourself reflecting on what truly matters as you get older? What are the key foundations that will help you lead a fulfilling and independent life after turning 60? In this video, I'll share 7 powerful pillars that will not only shift your perspective but also empower you to live a life filled with peace, health, and purpose, regardless of your age. If you've ever felt lost, unfulfilled, or overwhelmed by the uncertainty of what the future holds, you're not alone. Many people, once they hit the age of 60, begin to question how they can make the most out of the years ahead. It's completely normal to find yourself at a crossroads at this stage in life. The good news is that this video is packed with practical, actionable advice that will help you feel more confident about the journey ahead. Throughout this video, we'll dive deep into how you can prioritize your health, embrace the joy of your own company, and build meaningful relationships that will stand the test of time. We'll also talk about how to discover a passion that lights up your soul, manage your finances in a way that brings peace of mind, and most importantly, release past hurts that have been weighing you down. These 7 life-changing pillars will give you the strength and clarity to create the fulfilling life you truly deserve, especially when life feels particularly challenging. Stick with me until the very end, and I'll walk you through how to begin building a solid foundation for your future, no matter what's happened in the past. Trust me, this video is one you don't want to miss, because your best years are still ahead of you, and you deserve to make the most of them. If you haven't already, I highly recommend subscribing and turning on the notification bell so you won't miss any future videos. Your support means a lot to me, and if you find this video valuable, you can help spread these life-changing lessons by liking and sharing them with others. And if this topic resonates with you, please take a moment to comment 1 below. But if you feel there's room for improvement, don't hesitate to leave a 0, and share what you'd like to see more of in future videos. Your feedback helps me continue to improve and serve you better. Now, let's get started. 1. Health is your greatest wealth. Looking back on my younger years, I can't help but feel regret for the way I treated my body. I thought I was invincible, as so many young people do. I spent my days pushing myself to the limit, staying up too late, juggling multiple responsibilities without a second thought, and eating whatever was most convenient. Fast food, snacks, caffeine, it was all I needed, or so I thought. I felt like I could handle it, like the body I had would always bounce back, no matter how much I neglected it. But, as I now know all too well, that kind of mindset is an illusion. The truth is that your body keeps a record of every choice you make, and when you don't take care of it, it starts to catch up with you. When I turned 60, my body began sending me unmistakable signals: aching joints, constant fatigue, and a heaviness that seemed to linger no matter how much I rested. It felt like every single muscle in my body was screaming, reminding me that I had been ignoring it for far too long. I'll be honest, it was a wake-up call. Those little discomforts, once so easy to ignore, became constant reminders that something had to change. The reality hit hard. I couldn't keep going down the same path and expect to feel good in my later years. I had to rethink everything. And so I decided to prioritize my health in a way I never had before. I'm not just talking about eating better and exercising. Those are important, yes, but I'm talking about a fundamental shift in how I view my body. Health is no longer just about avoiding sickness or keeping up with my physical appearance. It's the very foundation of my well-being, my mental clarity, my happiness. It's the cornerstone of everything. I now exercise every single day, without exception. It doesn't matter whether I have time or not, I make time. It's become a sacred part of my routine, whether I'm taking a brisk walk around my neighborhood, feeling the fresh air on my face and the sun on my skin, or stretching in my backyard, feeling every muscle relax and breathe. The benefits have been so much more than I ever anticipated. Sure, my body feels stronger, but my mind feels clearer, too. The peace and clarity that come from just moving my body, even for just half an hour, have become vital parts of my life. It's like a reset button for my soul. And as for the way I nourish myself, I don't even recognize the person I was before. I used to think I could just grab something quick and call it a meal. Now, I truly savor the food I put into my body. Gone are the days of convenience foods and cheap, quick fixes. I now make it a point to choose fresh, whole foods that are packed with nutrients. Real foods that energize me and support my vitality. Eating well isn't just about avoiding sickness anymore. It's about truly thriving. And the change I've felt has been remarkable. I no longer feel drained at the end of the day. I feel more vibrant, more alive. And those medical appointments I used to dread? They've become my peace of mind. I used to avoid them, fearing the worst. But now, I see them as opportunities to check in on my health, to ensure that I'm on track, to catch anything before it turns into something bigger. There's a sense of calm in knowing that I'm taking responsibility for my well-being, and I'm confident that I'm doing everything I can to stay healthy. The bottom line is this: without health, nothing else truly matters. You could have all the money, all the accolades, all the accomplishments in the world, but if you don't feel well enough to enjoy any of it, what's the point? Health is the foundation of everything you want in life, and it's a gift that will continue to give you strength and joy, especially as you grow older. Take it from me, make your health a priority. It may seem like a small commitment now, but in the years to come, your future self will be incredibly grateful. So, honor your body, nurture your health, and remember that the most precious wealth you can ever have is the one that keeps you alive and thriving. 2. Learn to enjoy your own company. For the longest time, I dreaded being alone. I feared it. To me, loneliness meant something was wrong with me, that I wasn't enough, or that I had somehow failed at life. I would fill my days with endless social events, desperately seeking external validation, convincing myself that being in constant motion, always surrounded by others, was the only way to avoid feeling the weight of solitude. It was as though silence was my enemy and being alone a sign of weakness. The thought of being by myself sent waves of discomfort through my body. I thought I would be missing out, that I'd be left behind, or that my worth would be diminished in some way. But as the years went by, something within me shifted. A slow, quiet realization began to form. Solitude wasn't the enemy I once believed it to be. It was, in fact, a gift, a sanctuary. The realization was profound, almost revolutionary. It was as though a door opened, and I could see beyond the surface level of my fears into something deeper, something that had always been there, just waiting to be discovered. At first, learning to enjoy my own company was a challenge. It felt awkward, like I was missing out on something that everyone else seemed to have. There was an unsettling feeling at the start, like an itch I couldn't scratch. But little by little, I began to lean into the silence. It wasn't long before I found solace in it, a kind of peace that I had never known before. Now, when I sit alone in my favorite chair by the window, a cup of warm tea cradled in my hands, the world outside slowly fades away. I find myself getting lost in the pages of a book, transported to another world where the only voice I need to hear is my own. There's a quiet joy in these moments, a deep connection to myself that I didn't know existed before. Sometimes, I sit and write in my journal, reflecting on my day and turning my heart into words. There's something so incredibly healing about expressing my thoughts without the fear of judgment, without the pressure of trying to please anyone. Other times, I turn on some music, and the melodies wash over me, taking me on a journey through time and space. It's a form of escape, yes, but also a form of return. A return to my soul, to my center. The nostalgia in the music brings comfort, as though the music is a conversation with my past, reminding me of where I've been and who I've become. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. I've come to realize that these moments of solitude are not a punishment, nor are they a sign of deprivation. They are a gift. A precious gift that I've learned to give myself. These quiet moments have become my sanctuary, where I nurture my inner world, where I truly get to know myself. I no longer feel the need to rely on the constant presence of others to fill some void or to chase away feelings of loneliness. The more I embrace my own company, the more I realize how much it fortifies me. Solitude isn't something to fear. It's a source of strength, a way to build a foundation of peace that helps me navigate life's challenges, no matter how big or small. In the end, the most important relationship you'll ever have is the one with yourself. It's the one relationship that will remain constant, the one that will endure through every high and low of life. It's the relationship that shapes how you show up for everyone else. When you begin to nurture this relationship, you'll discover a well of strength, wisdom, and peace that you never knew was there. So, take the time to be with yourself. Embrace the silence. Cherish those moments alone. They're not just for you, they're the foundation of everything you'll become. 3. Money can't buy happiness, but it helps. When I was younger, I naively believed that money was the key to everything. Every problem, every frustration, every longing. It was the end goal, the ticket to a better life. I spent countless hours grinding away at work, endlessly chasing after promotions, bonuses, and the next paycheck. I convinced myself that the more I earned, the more secure and happy I would be. I thought a bigger salary would solve all my issues and that more possessions would somehow make me more fulfilled. If I could just have more, then life would be perfect. But as I've grown older and gained a little wisdom along the way, I've realized how deeply misguided that belief was. Money, in its truest sense, isn't the ultimate answer. It's merely a tool, an enabler of something more meaningful. It's not the goal but a means to it. As time has passed, my perspective on money has shifted dramatically. The rush of chasing after endless material wealth no longer excites me the way it once did. Instead, I've come to understand the profound value of living within my means, of appreciating the simplicity that comes from focusing on what I truly need. I've learned that less truly can be more and that what matters most isn't how much I have but how well I use what I do have. Quality has become so much more important than quantity. The constant craving for more clothes, more gadgets, more stuff, has faded into the background. Instead, I now invest in experiences, in moments, and in things that genuinely enrich my life. And it's far more satisfying than anything I could have ever bought on a whim. One of the most crucial lessons I've learned along this journey is the power of thoughtful spending. In the past, I was caught up in the cycle of debt, constantly feeling like I was running to catch up. But now, I've made a conscious choice to avoid unnecessary debt and prioritize financial security. I've built an emergency fund, and the peace of mind that comes with knowing I'm prepared for the unexpected is priceless. The freedom it gives me, knowing that I can handle whatever life throws my way, is beyond anything money can buy. It's a weight lifted off my shoulders, a burden removed. And let's not forget the sheer beauty of life's simple pleasures. I've come to appreciate it so much that it doesn't come with a price tag. A warm cup of coffee in the morning, feeling the crisp air on a quiet walk through the park, or indulging in something small for myself, without the guilt of overspending. These moments bring me a sense of peace and fulfillment that no material possessions ever could. They remind me that true happiness isn't found in accumulating things, but in cherishing the fleeting, beautiful moments that make life truly worthwhile. When money is managed with care and used wisely, it can eliminate so much stress and create the foundation for a life of dignity and freedom. It's not about collecting wealth for the sake of showing off or impressing others. It's about creating a life of stability, comfort, and peace. The real lesson I've learned as I've gotten older is that it's not how much you have that matters. It's how you use what you have to cultivate a life that brings you joy, fulfillment, and serenity. That's where the true wealth lies. 4. True friends are few, and that's okay. As I reflect on my journey through life, one truth stands out, crystal clear. True friends are incredibly rare. Over the years, I've watched many people come and go. Some friendships have naturally faded away, while others have endured, weathering even the hardest storms. By the time I reached my 60s, I had this epiphany that took me by surprise. It's not the number of friends that matters. True friends are like precious gems, extremely rare, but when you find them, they are beyond valuable. With age comes wisdom, and as I've grown older, I've realized that the quality of friendships far outweighs the quantity. I no longer seek to fill my life with a vast network of acquaintances. Instead, I cherish the deep, meaningful connections that I've built over the years, the ones that stand the test of time. The friends I hold closest are those who truly listen, who hear me without judgment, offering understanding instead of advice unless I ask for it. These are the friends who reach out to me just to check in, not because they need something from me, but simply because they genuinely care about my well-being. Their actions speak volumes, and their presence comforts my soul. It's a beautiful thing to realize that friendship isn't a numbers game. The true friends in my life are the ones who show up when the world feels heavy and who step in without needing an invitation. They don't need me to ask for help because they already know when I need it. These are the people who remind me, time and time again, that no matter how hard life gets, we don't have to face it alone. Friendship, after all, isn't about the size of your circle. It's about finding those precious few who make your world a little brighter simply by being in it. As I've grown, I've come to invest more time and energy into nurturing these relationships. And in doing so, I've seen how these bonds strengthen over time. They are not only a source of joy but of resilience, offering me a place to turn when I need support the most. When I face challenges, when the road ahead feels uncertain, these are the friends who lift me. Whether it's through wisdom, a comforting word, or simply being there, they are my steady rock amid life's chaos. And even in moments when my family may be far away or when I'm struggling through tough times, I know in my heart that I'm never truly alone. The love and care that these true friends provide is something irreplaceable. They are a reminder that real friendship is built on mutual respect, trust, and love. A love that doesn't ask for anything in return but simply exists to make life more meaningful. True friends give you something you can't buy. They offer a support so pure and comforting it's impossible to replicate. They are the ones who make life feel richer, not by their numbers but by the depth of their understanding and commitment. These are the people who stand beside you through thick and thin, no matter what life throws your way. And for that, I am forever grateful. 5. Keeping commitments to yourself is an act of self-love. For so many years, I found myself constantly trying to meet the expectations of everyone around me. I said yes even when my heart and soul screamed no, always eager to help, always trying to be the one who was there for others. I thought this was the noble thing to do, that being selfless and putting others before myself was a sign of kindness. But looking back, I see now that I was neglecting the one person who truly needed me, myself. It took a long time for me to realize how unhealthy this pattern was, and I'll admit, it was hard to break free from. It wasn't until I turned 60 that I had a real epiphany. At that age, you begin to see life differently. You realize that time is a precious commodity and that the promises you make to others will not be enough if you can't keep the promises you make to yourself. For the first time, I understood the deep value of honoring my commitments. And let me tell you, it wasn't just about going for that 30-minute walk every day, though that was important. It was about more than that. It was about carving out moments for myself, for my well-being, and about choosing to put my needs first in a world that constantly tries to pull me in 1,000 directions. When I promised myself I'd learn a new skill or explore a new hobby, I did it, without hesitation, even if it meant stepping outside of my comfort zone, even if it meant taking risks. Each small step I took, no matter how seemingly insignificant, was a profound act of self-love. It was my way of saying, "You matter." And that mattered to me. Now, keeping commitments to myself has become one of the most empowering acts in my life. It's no longer just about fulfilling a task or checking something off my list. It's about reinforcing my self-worth. Each time I follow through on something I've promised to myself, I feel a little more grounded, a little more sure of who I am. I remind myself that I am capable of achieving anything I set my mind to, whether or not anyone else notices or cares. The promises I make to myself are just as valuable as the promises I make to others, maybe even more so. I've learned that self-respect isn't something to aspire to. It's something to practice every single day. By honoring my own needs, by nurturing my desires, I'm sending myself the message that I deserve to be happy and that I am worthy of time and care. The beauty of keeping these commitments to myself is that they build an unwavering trust in who I am. I've stopped doubting my abilities or questioning my worth. Each promise I keep, no matter how small, deepens my confidence. It's as though I've taken my hand and led myself down a path where I know I am the priority, and not in a selfish way, but most lovingly and respectfully possible. It's in these moments that I truly feel the power of self-love, not just as an abstract idea, but as something tangible that I experience in every decision and in every commitment I make. And let me tell you, there is nothing more beautiful than realizing that you, above all others, are worth the effort, the time, and the love. 6. Forgive and let go of the past. Holding onto the past can feel like a suffocating weight, an invisible burden that pulls you down and keeps you trapped in moments that have long since passed. For years, I carried around the ghosts of past mistakes, old resentments, and painful memories that clung to me like an unshakable shadow. I thought that holding on to these hurts would somehow protect me, perhaps shield me from future pain, or even give me some sense of control over what had happened. But the truth was far more painful. All it did was hurt me, slowly poisoning my peace and peace of mind. I was convinced that these painful experiences were tied to who I was, that they defined me in some way, but in reality, they were preventing me from moving forward, from truly living. There came a time when I realized, with all my heart, that carrying this emotional baggage was robbing me of my joy and my freedom. The weight was far too heavy, and it was breaking me down in ways I couldn't ignore anymore. After so much inner turmoil, I finally reached a moment of clarity, a deep realization that it was time to let go. It wasn't easy, not by a long shot, and it didn't happen overnight. There were days when I felt like I was still drowning in my past, and the pain felt too fresh to release. But despite the struggle, I knew deep down that this was the only path to peace, to true healing. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 2 below to let me know that you are still here with me. Forgiveness, I came to learn, isn't about excusing the wrongs others have done to us. It's about permitting yourself to step away from the prison of bitterness and resentment. I chose to forgive, not because the people who hurt me deserved it, but because I deserved to feel light again. I deserved to feel the peace that had eluded me for so long. Holding on to anger and pain wasn't making me stronger, it was making me weaker. I was holding on to things that had no place in my heart anymore. In time, I understood that while I couldn't change the past, I had the power to decide how it would affect me moving forward. I could either allow it to continue shaping my present and future, or I could choose to break free from its hold. I decided to stop allowing past wounds to dictate my emotional state. Instead of looking back with anger, regret, or shame, I chose to look back with gratitude for the lessons I had learned or the growth that came from those painful experiences. It wasn't easy, but every step away from the past was a victory, a small but significant reclaiming of my life. Letting go of the past has been nothing short of freeing. It's as though I've finally learned how to breathe again, how to stand taller with a lighter heart. It's a feeling I wish I could give to everyone because it's a kind of liberation that can't be described, only experienced. Choosing to forgive and let go isn't just an act of kindness to others. It's the greatest act of self-compassion you can offer yourself. It's a step towards emotional liberation, a way to free yourself from the chains of old hurts and old stories that no longer serve you. When you let go, you make room for so much more. For peace, for joy, for new beginnings. The possibilities become endless, and you open yourself to the beautiful life that's waiting for you. One filled with love, light, and freedom. 7. Finally, find something you're passionate about. At the age of 60, I had a profound realization that changed my life in ways I never expected. Passion is truly what keeps the heart young, alive, and vibrant. It's that spark of excitement that fires up your soul and makes every new day feel like a fresh opportunity to live fully. For me, that passion revealed itself in the form of gardening, an activity I had never really considered before. There's something so deeply satisfying about nurturing plants, seeing them thrive under your care, and witnessing the beauty they bring to life. Every bloom, every leaf, every vine feels like a small miracle unfolding right before my eyes. But the beautiful thing about passion is that it can take on many different forms. It's not limited to any one thing. For others, it might be the rhythm of music, the strokes of a paintbrush, the warmth of cooking, or even the joy of learning a new language. What truly matters is that you find something that stirs your heart, something that fills you with joy and gives you a reason to rise each day with purpose and enthusiasm. Gardening has taught me lessons that go beyond the mere act of planting seeds and watching them grow. It has become a meditation for me, a reminder to slow down, to breathe, and to practice patience. It's about giving something the time and care it deserves and, in return, feeling a deep sense of gratitude and connection. Every little victory, whether it's a tiny bud appearing on a once bare branch or a vine crawling steadily up a trellis, fills me with a sense of accomplishment and wonder. When a flower finally blooms after weeks of waiting, it's as if the universe is whispering a reminder that life, no matter how difficult or uncertain, always finds a way to push through and renew itself. It's in these quiet moments of growth, both in nature and within myself, that I find a sense of peace and meaning that fills me up completely. Having a passion, whatever it may be, does more than simply occupy your time. It nourishes your very soul. It gives you direction, joy, and an unshakable sense of purpose. And no matter how old you are, it doesn't matter. Passion is ageless. Whether it's rediscovering an old hobby that you once loved or finding something entirely new that ignites your heart, having a passion gives life a depth and richness that is hard to put into words. It is the light that keeps your spirit burning brightly, the fire that fuels your soul and reminds you to stay open to life's endless possibilities. Passion is what makes life worth living, and when you find it, it's like you've unlocked the secret to staying forever young at heart. As we wrap up today's journey, I want to ask you, what have you learned so far? Life has so much to offer, no matter where you are in your journey, and discovering your passion is just one piece of the puzzle that can truly transform your days. I'd love to hear from you. What's one thing you've learned today that you will start bringing into your life? Share it in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please leave your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more content that will help you live your best, most fulfilling life. Thanks for being here, and I can't wait to hear how you're going to embrace your passion and take that next step toward a brighter future.